Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Last week we were looking at if the mirror can see itself in itself, then it may be possible that self may know the self. So, is it possible for mirror to look at itself? No. Is it possible for the eye to know the eye? Objectively, no. In other words, if you take the mirror to be your mind, is it possible for the mind to know itself? Because what is mind? What is the material with which the mind is made? Consciousness. But what is happening in the mind? We think at a gross level, mind is flow of thoughts. So we have come across a mind with no thoughts, which is called sleep. But we don't know we are sleeping when we are sleeping. Only after waking up we say we are sleeping. So with thoughts, it is not possible to come to know the nature of the mind or the essence of the mind. The essence of the mind and the self, they are one and the same. The material is one and the same. That is pure consciousness. This thought continues in the 90th verse. दिगंता पैली कडेचे धावोनी सूर्या खोचे मातिये सीतियेचे अंग फुटे. A knife cannot cut any object in the space. Can it cut itself, although it is also an object? Is it possible? No. The knife can pierce and cut something other than itself. Although the sharpness is supported by the knife, it cannot destroy itself. In the same way, the knowingness aspect of me can know everything except itself, and when it tries to do so, it disappears. What disappears? The knowingness. So when you say that you are knowing something, where is it taking place? I want to know. Or you say, I don't know. Excuse me, चाय नहीं मिली आज, क्या करें? डिले हो गया. क्या बोल रहा था मैं? देखा, one thought of tea distracted.
Knowingness is in the minds of it.
So where is the knowingness? Is knowingness in the self or is it in the mind? Where is it?
That is in the mind only.
Yes, knowingness is in the mind. And when knowingness tries to work out itself, the whole thing collapses. In other words, the knowingness aspect of me can know everything. It can know everything that is other than itself. Objectively, it can know everything, but it cannot know itself. And when it tries to do so, what disappears? The knowingness disappears. The one who is trying to know. For knower, there has to be a known. But knower is the only one there is. So now the knower is trying to know itself. The knower also disappears. Then what remains? That which is always, which is pure consciousness, the reality, the Atman. Only sentiency, the substratum remains. The agitations of the mind are stilled. See, this understanding has to be clear. Otherwise, we will be only seeking in the mind, or we will be going into the samadhi, which is not. We must practice that. But what about the rest of the day? Sadhana can be done only in the wakeful state. Sadhana cannot be done in samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi, you cannot do sadhana. You can do sadhana in still savikal. See. Meditation is the technique by which the knowingness is separated from the sentiency. As the heat aspect of the fire is separated in water from its light aspect in the light aspect, and that is given in that and in the iron ball. Once this technique is mastered, one will be able to express the knowingness as the world of knower and known, or withdraw the knowingness and remain still and silent in the state of sentiency and yet not be asleep. What is this sentiency? It's the wakefulness, it's the awareness. So what are they saying? That in meditation, knowingness is separated from the sentiency. Sentiency was, in this example, the heat and fire. This is what we took in meditation today. That the sentiency is possible in the mind, and you are other than the mind. This has to be the initial discrimination. This must come about, and that is only possible when we are deeply, single-pointedly involved in self-inquiry. So, how do? You remain in the world, but don't be disturbed by the world. You remain in the body as the consciousness, but you are not disturbed by the body movements. Whether the body is moving or it is silent, you are awake, you are alert, you are wakeful, you are aware. Then you come to the same awareness at the breath level. Let the breath come in and go out, but you are the observer, you are the witness of the breath coming in and going out. Systematically, slowly we practice this, then we can come to the mind. Let the thoughts come and go. But we are the undisturbed one. We are the one who does not come and go. The I thought comes and goes, but you do not come and go. And in this way, when our attention is on this one, that is what he is talking about. Once the technique is mastered, one will be able to express the knowingness as the world of knower and known. Once this is mastered, then alone you will realize that this knowingness itself is expressing. Okay, here is that the mind is nothing but that consciousness, that pure consciousness. See? That all the subject object that are taking place in the mind are nothing but that one. So whether there is expression of subject and object in the mind or there is only silence, you are still the same. You have always been the same. You will continue to be the same. What is that? Pure consciousness. Right now what happens? We take a position, and when we say I, you take I with always with reference to something. What they are talking about here is that you have come to this disposition, I can only use that word disposition, wherein what is expressing in the mind or not expressing in the mind is all your glory only, your vibhuti, meaning the atmic vibhuti. So just as we say all the waves are the glory of the ocean, because ocean alone is expressing, supporting by the infinite waves, but not affected by any wave. It does not increase when the wave merges back into the ocean, nor ocean becomes less when the waves are created out of the ocean. So that is his glory, that is his vibhuti. Same will be the, so this is just from ocean's point of view. From Ishvara's point of view, because this is Ishwar Advayavad, Ishvara's point of view, he knows who he is, the absolute reality, and the entire phenomena of creation is his vibhuti, which is accomplished through the Shakti. See, this you and me don't know right now. We may understand it, but it is not our direct experience. For this direct experience to happen, then we have to follow. What is that following? Remain undisturbed by the world. Remain undisturbed by your senses and body. Remain undisturbed by breath, then mind. And then come to the essence. And thereafter, once you have come to the essence, you will see that everything is your vibhuti, your glory. Then what will you do? Leela. Then it will be Ravi Leela, Usha Leela, Bodh Leela. Everyone is doing Leela then. Ram comes, does Ram Leela and goes back. Krishna comes, does Krishna Leela and goes back. Mahatmas come, they do their Leela and go back. So will be your case. And that is what is happening. Leela is taking place even at this moment. But we have got hooked onto the Leela as something real. And therefore, we are frustrated. We are feeling unfulfilled on account of our wrong identity. The next two OVs present another example to convey the same thought. What is the thought? That of the knowingness. रसवृत्ति सी उगाणे घेऊनी जिव्हाग्र शहाणे परिकाई कीजे नेणे आपणापे चाखो. The tongue is wise and smart enough to taste all the objects, However, can the tongue taste herself, itself? Not possible. तरी जिभे काई आपुले चाखणे हन ठेले तैसे नवे संचले ते तेची की. He says, because the tongue cannot taste herself, one cannot say that the essential nature of tongue to taste is not existing. It does exist, but it cannot taste itself, that's all. However, just because the tongue cannot taste itself, can we say that the tasting ability of the tongue is dead? No, it is still very much there. In the same way, when the knowingness aspect is withdrawn from functioning in the world, it does not mean that in the same way, when the knowingness aspect is withdrawn from functioning in the world, it does not mean that one has entered deep sleep. It only means that it is under one's absolute control and discrimination as to when and where it should operate and to what extent and when to withdraw into an immunity zone. This abhyasa, that means this practice, in developing this no entry zone and remaining in it for extended periods of time, is the practice of nirvikalpa samadhi and should be done all the 24 hours of the day. The triad of knower known knowledge will disappear, but the manifestation of life will continue to be. Nirvikalpa samadhi 24 hours a day. Where is this? It is not sitting with only eyes closed. When that happens, do that. But rest of the time, remain in nirvikalpa samadhi with the eyes open. And if it is not happening, which means in nirvikalpa samadhi we have gone to sleep. If it is not happening in the waking state, because your disposition in nirvikalpa samadhi is you are awake, mind is quiet, silent. If that does not, it has to, without your desiring, it will start getting expressed in your waking life also. That you are awake and all the activity in nirvikalpa samadhi, the mind was silent. Now when the mind is active in the waking, you are not disturbed by what is taking place. And if you are getting disturbed, then practice not to be disturbed. How come there I was not disturbed, here I am disturbed? So merely accessing nirvikalpa samadhi, it can become an addiction because it's an escape from the world. Our exposure to nirvikalpa samadhi, where we are awake to the silent mind, must translate in our daily life. So that when mind does become active, we remain undisturbed. Initially we will get disturbed, but work towards it. Keep refining where we are going wrong. See? This is a very important point. That when we have discovered that we are other than the potentiality, which is mind, then whether the mind is active or inactive. I must remain the witness. I must not be disturbed by it. Then there will be a possibility. Then alone there will be a possibility that that the mind has completely come under my control. If mind has come under control in samadhi, but when you are in waking or dream or sleep, it is not under your control. Whenever the sleep wants, it comes and hijacks you. Whenever imagination wants, it comes and hijacks you. Whenever the waking objectivity demands attention, you are at your wit's end. The child calls, immediately the mother will respond. Try not to respond. I'm just saying that is it possible that all the stimuli from outside are prompting some reaction out of you, but you are not available? Everything is taking place at the empirical level. Everything is taking place. Body is going, conversation is taking place, but you are totally cut off from the whole thing. And how much to involve an initial penultimate before that, how much to involve, how much not to involve, that is only possible when you have learned how much to involve in the mind and how much not to involve in the mind. How long you remain witness to the mind, not sleep. Majority of the people go to Nirvikalpa Samadhi because and go to sleep nicely sitting on the seat of meditation. And where were you? Oh, I don't know where I was. Means you have gone to sleep. It's very refreshing. Just like sleep is very refreshing, samadhi also is very refreshing. All you did was sit straight and go to sleep. If you don't know where you were, if you are aware of everything, if you are aware of the process of the collapse of the mind and aware of the reactivation of the mind, then it is good. Now bring it about consciously, collapse the mind consciously, collapse the mind, activate the mind consciously. Then that capacity, these are all experiments that we have to do with ourselves on the seat of meditation. That can come, that you can practice that with your japa mantra or om mantra or watching the breath or whatever. Find some support and dive into yourself. And once we are practicing that and taking the faculty of the mind is completely in our control. To that extent, the faculty of the mind in the waking also will be in our control. Then where to get involved, where not to get involved is up to you. Whether to go to party or not to go to party is up to you. Whether to go to satsang or not to go to satsang is up to you. Whether to listen in a satsang or not listen to the satsang is up to you. Up to you meaning you can invoke. It is still very much there. In the same way, when the knowingness aspect is withdrawn from functioning in the world, it does not mean that one has entered deep sleep. It only means that it is under one's absolute control and discrimination as to when and where it should operate and to what extent and when to withdraw into an immunity zone. This abhyasa, this practice in developing this no entry zone and remaining in it for extended periods of time, wakefully, alertly, vigilantly, this is called witnessing. Witnessing. The knowingness is of the witness. The witness is witnessing. Now there is nothing to witness. But the witness is still there. It's nirvikalpa samadhi.
Swamiji.
Yeah.
Sort of, I didn't quite understand this one, Swamiji. This collapsing and reactivating mind consciously. So it's like controlling is that who controls Swamiji? It is the I controls that, isn't it? Mind can't control.
Yeah.
So if I is controlling and I is relaxing, that means the I is throughout there. Instead of why we have to control and relax?
And that is why we said it is the witnessing consciousness. Ishvara, by his will, activates the Shakti. Ishvara, by his own will, deactivates the Shakti. If he wants, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right or not?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes.
But Ishvara is undisturbed by his Shakti.
Yes.
He is undisturbed. He is uninfluenced by his Shakti, yet he is able to activate and deactivate his Shakti.
Yes. But that would be Sagaja Samadhi, isn't it, Swamiji?
Pardon me?
Why we call it as Nirvikalpa Samadhi?
No. We are not talking about that. You don't get confused. This capacity of ability to activate and deactivate will come by your samadhi abhyas.
Yeah.
Will come by your samadhi abhyas. You understand?
Yes, Swamiji. Yeah.
We are not saying that this is activating and deactivating is nirvikalpa. No. Activating and see what is not. There are two ways of looking at it. If activating and deactivating is possible and you are undisturbed by it, you are in sahaja samadhi.
Yes.
In nirvikalpa samadhi, not necessarily, people think nirvikalpa means sit on a seat of meditation and dive into yourself and go beyond and collapse the mind, and that is nirvikalpa samadhi.
Yeah.
But when are you not practicing nirvikalpa samadhi right now?
We're not practicing. It happens, but
yes, it is a natural. It is natural because you who knows waker, dreamer, sleeper coming and going, he is nirvikalpa, no?
Yes.
But again, if you take the definition of nirvikalpa, nirvikalpa, vikalpa means options. Options are available only by way of thought. Nirvikalpa means where you have got no options available, or you don't choose any option, or you are undisturbed by any options that are appearing, whichever way you put it, you are in nirvikalpa.
Yes, Swamiji. Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, Swamiji. Yeah.
See, that is so. And when we practice that nirvikalpa in its not from the mind point of view, but from the consciousness point of view, then it is sahaja samadhi. Then you are in your natural state.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes, Swamiji.
So when we use the word nirvikalpa, it is an a indicator to the mind.
Oh.
It is because vikalpa is only in the mind, it is not in reality.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
You see, you take it with an example. Waves are possible only in the ocean. But are the waves also not in water? From our point of view, when we look at it, it is in the water also.
Yeah.
It is in the ocean also. So, on one hand, all the options are happening in consciousness. They are made out of consciousness. The material that has gone into is consciousness. But some idiot was there who was owning all those options and creating a difficult life for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has learned how to undo it, and he has experienced that, hey, there is, I still continue to be if I don't have if I have got no options. Meaning, at this moment, we accept ourselves as a referential existence. I am a husband, I am a wife, I am a son, I am a teacher, I am a student. All this is a referential existence.
Yes.
So now you take it deep. I am because I am thinking is also referential existence, isn't it? Subject
Yes.
thinking of an object is referential existence.
Yeah.
And where is this referential existence taking place? In the mind. But if there is no mind and there is no reference, you still continue to be.
Yes.
And that has to be accessed again and again and again, which is outside the mind, which is other than the mind. And then you will realize that, hey, I alone, this who I am in reality is alone the material of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have learned by regular practice, continuous practice, daily practice, to not be disturbed by the references, referential, all the references, all the reflections, all the subject object phenomena, then that is your power. Then you can choose to take position, and you will do the position of the father. You will take the position, you are still unaffected by the father phenomena, but and do whatever is required to be done, what is the best in that particular circumstance. So when we look at a Mahatma, we feel, why do we feel so close to him? Because there is no role that he or she is playing. They are completely empty. They are all encompassing. Yet, who are we interacting with? Are we interacting with the all encompassing principle, or are we interacting with from our own eyes? When we are interacting with a person, we see a particular mind, we see the five senses expressing there, we see a particular form, and we feel that, oh, this is a great Mahatma who, because by coming into their presence, my mind is quiet, I feel completely accepted, there is untold love that is expressing through him. There is no judgment, etc., etc., whatever your dialogue is going on in your mind. But you are seeing a specific person.
Yes.
But that specific person, that Mahatma, who does he consider himself to be?
Everybody.
Non-specific. Non-specific.
Yeah.
And that non-specific is the either you can take it as Ishvara, or you can take it as the infinite reality. So Ishvara Prakriti, that is the first phenomena, and that will go on. But there, when we are talking about that, that as a seeker, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you are undisturbed by your potentiality. You are undisturbed by your potentiality. What is that principle called? Who is undisturbed by his potentiality? He is called Ishvara, isn't it?
Yes.
And does in Amrutanubhava, does Lord Shiva become disturbed when potentiality expresses?
No.
No. So when we come out of samadhi, do we get disturbed by the world? Yes. So which means long way to go. Somewhere some connection is going wrong. Your thinking is wrong. Either we are going to sleep, or we are just it's a jada samadhi. Jada samadhi means identification with the body, breath, mind, intellect has not been severed. The understanding that this whole phenomena of the mind is nothing but the expression of the infinite consciousness alone, appearing as if like that. And that realization will come only when you are the one.
Okay, Swami. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
We are the one, or we have complete penultimate step, we have separated ourselves from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for separating yourself from everything and remain silent is only possible when you give zero value to any options that your mind is popping up, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's no straight answer. You have to look at it in a wholesome way. But yes, as an individual, as a seeker, we talk only about Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi, simple explanation is you are alert, you are awake, and you are not succumbing to any options that are coming up or popping up in your mind.
Yes.
And that option could be a mantra also.
Yes.
That option could be a mantra also. So what do we do? See the beauty of our Sanatan Dharma and our Vedanta. So what do? We choose. We give such a mantra to the mind, and we tell this mind, where it concludes itself is where you begin or where you are. So we are not trying to stop the mantra. We are trying to conclude the mantra. How? From gross to subtle, subtle to causal, causal to zero, transcendental. Vaikari madhyama pashyanti para. So work towards it. And as you work towards it, your understanding about what is taking place, the scope of what is taking place, the distance that is being generated between you and the mind and the options, how the options, again, just like every morning, the options of the world, they appear to your mind. You don't create them, they appear. And many times when you wake up in the morning, you choose not to be available to the options, you choose to be available to silence, which means sleep. You go back to sleep for 1 minute, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. But you choose, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you are consciously choosing not to be involved in the options, the option of waking up and being available to the variety. Right?
Yes.
Now, same thing is happening in our meditation also. Sometimes we come out of meditation and eyes open up, but there is no interest in anything. And again the eyes close and again you dive back into yourself. It has happened many times, isn't it?
Yeah.
The same thing.
So choosing the options, using the mind.
Choosing the option as long as you feel there is a choice possible. That is initial stages.
Yeah.
As you go deeper and deeper, you don't need to employ your choice. Why? Because you have when the mind is silent, there is no choice to be employed.
Mm-hmm.
When the mind is silent, there's no option available, na? In the silent mind, how will option is available only by way of thought. In a silent mind, where is a thought? There is no thought possible there.
Yes, Swami.
Option is possible only in an active mind.
Yes.
So you use your active mind to come to silence. If that is not taking place, then we are losing the plot. Coming to silence and remaining awake is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi.
Yeah.
Remaining awake with zero mind and understanding that I am all that there is will translate itself in your waking state, that I am all that there is. And then I can choose here. It's not that you are choosing, but here Swamiji has used that type of language because we are not completely established, but as we are coming close to it, these expressions you may find in yourself. Just like you have made a choice to come to satsang. So you make a choice to be involved with some person or not be involved in some person. You may choose to be involved in a particular situation or not be involved in a particular situation. And how is it happening? Because we are working with our mind here, so we think, oh, we have to make a choice. But in a master, what happens? It happens intuitively. Because his mind is a mirror. He's not saying, I don't want this or I don't want. No, it comes out as that, as those words. But his mind is like a mirror. The whole world is just appearing and disappearing on his mind. In fact, the whole world is nothing but he only, his mind only. That is his direct experience. So whom should he involve with? Whom should he give attention? Whom should he hug? Whom should he keep away? If we say Mahatma is making a decision, that means he's become an individual. And we can only see an individual. We can only see Krishna. Krishna for Arjuna was only an individual. He was only a cousin brother. But Krishna in his own eyes, he was the infinite. At the same time, supporting the entire totality and all the individuality. So when he says all these people are already dead, you are only going to get the glory. They are already dead because of the acts that they did. So realized masters are also like that Krishna. They know who they are. They have gods at their fingertips. So people used to say, come to say to Satya Sai Baba, I want to have darshan of Durga Mata or Krishna. He used to give them the darshan, provided they are qualified. How could he do that? And there were many times when he did not do that, and yet the disciple or the devotee, in his deep urge, thinking of Sai Baba, he will say, please give me darshan, and the darshan will happen wherever he is. So but it does not happen because the master, see, it's a very, there is no direct, straight answer to it. Because we are thinking with limitations. And what is being talked about, what we are talking about from the Ishvara's point of view is not from the limitation of the mind. Ishvara knows that he is the infinite absolute reality. Ishvara is in control of his potentiality. Ishvara is in reference to potentiality. That infinite reality is called Ishvara. Ishvara is inseparable from his potentiality. He is inseparable because it is his potentiality. Does he interfere in how the potentiality functions or should not function? If Parvati is functioning in a particular way, does he say, if she asks, he guides her? If she doesn't listen, she has to face the consequences. Ishvara is not disturbed. If she listens, then there is harmony. Where? In the Leela there is harmony. And where is Leela? In its own absence. Now you apply this whole thing with yourself, with the Mahatma. Mahatma knows who he is. Mahatma's mind is in his control. Mahatma knows that this mind, this phenomena of the mind is nothing but is pervaded by the self, but actually it is not there. Then what is there? Through the phenomena only the reality is expressing. But phenomena is always about variety. So phenomena is where there is duality. So we give validity to duality. A Mahatma gives validity to the one principle which is expressing through duality.
Yes, Swami.
So you give attention to the various ornaments, but a goldsmith gives attention to the gold expressing through all the ornaments. He doesn't buy back the ornaments. He buys only the gold. He'll give you the value of the gold. And same thing is with Mahatma also. His attention is on that one principle, which as if is appearing as the phenomena through his potentiality. Now, where to get involved, where not to get involved, that he comes to know intuitively. So where, if for this, how much to get involved and how much not to get involved, read the stories of Shiva and Parvati. He does not get involved in every activity of Parvati. But sometimes when things go out of control and Parvati is at doesn't know how to come out of the situation that she has created for herself, whether it is as Kali and to pacify Kali Mata, or she takes the form of the Durga and to pacify Durga, then Shiva comes. Or whether that Parvati goes and wants to help someone but doesn't know how to help and asks the Lord, asks her husband to come and help, then he will help. But he will not help only because she has said. He is not interested. He is not only for her because he is independent of her. So he sees that her demand, her request is benefiting the whole creation or not. He will see that these events, are they going to create unwanted ripples thereafter? I'm thinking loudly here. See? And then at a very gross level, then he says, no, I cannot, but then she requests. Then he does sometimes, when she requests so much. And then there are consequences. That is the Leela. And there are many times other gods have given so many blessings. And if the whole universe comes to be destroyed, is Shiva destroyed? No. He's never destroyed because he knows who he is. Who can, if you read biography of Shirdi Sai Baba, his Pothi, He used to take his head off from the neck and hang and keep it on one side. He will take out his arms and put it on another side. He'll take out the legs and put it on another side. He'll dismember his body by his own hand, by himself. Have you ever come across someone doing that? And then put it together again? So are you not doing the same thing? You are taking many roles, and every now and then you come back to being the one, the body, the person, man, woman, whoever. When this is practiced and perfected at the mental level, at the subjective level, where we choose to take part in the options of the mind, and yet are able to withdraw from the mind at a drop of a hat. Or at the drop of a hat, we are able to again get involved in the mind. In other words, the moment, another way of looking at it, you sit on the seat of meditation, few seconds and you are gone. You are with yourself. Mind is no longer a issue. However long that lasts, when that meditation is over, in few seconds you are back into 100% activity without any hangover of meditation. So we want the hangover of meditation to last for 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. That was so nice today. That hangover, that drunkenness is what we call that was nice, that was nice. Just as after waking up from sleep, the sleepiness is still there. Or you have taken alcohol, the hangover is still there. So this is hangover of meditation. Hangover of meditation is not good. So life is saying, hey, house is on fire. No, I am still in the hangover of meditation. Everything is happening slowly. You will burn to death. You must be able to, whatever life is presenting, either be involved or withdraw at a drop of a hat. That is when our mind has come under our control. There is no lag, there is no delay. Very good point that Renuka asked. There is no lag or delay. For us, even to make small decision, there is maybe, no, I don't know. That's the best one. We do that out of ignorance. Lord Shiva does the same thing, remains silent. She keeps asking this, that. He keeps silent. But he is doing it out of knowledge. See, we are with our mind, we are trying to understand how a realized master, how the Ishvara functions. It is not going to be possible. We can only come to certain level we can understand. Because we are trying to, until and unless this understanding, this learning is not applied subjectively on yourself, not just at the intellectual level, but not applied on yourself, till then it will not click. This abhyasa in developing this no entry zone and remaining in it for extended periods of time is the practice of nirvikalpa samadhi and should be done all the 24 hours of the day. So what will be Apart from going into meditation where you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what will be Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the waking state? What will be Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the waking state? What was Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi state? That the mind was zero and you were awake, you were alert, you were vigilant, you were you felt that all that is the self alone, without a thought. So what will be Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the waking state when the mind has got activated? Have you forgotten that you are the all-pervading principle? Have you forgotten that you are, if you do not forget that you are the all-pervading principle, you are the pure consciousness, that you are undisturbed by whatever is taking place, then you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Mahatmas are continuously in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That Ammachi, when we see her hugging one person, another person, thousands of persons, talking to this person, talking to that person, listening to this person's query or answering this spiritual question or giving guidance to someone, all that activity is taking place. All that activity is going on. But she is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It is natural for her. Was she born like that? No. She worked herself, she did the sadhana, she got to that point, isn't it? She was not born that way. So what is stopping us as seekers to be also that way? To go through life and yet be alert about the conscious principle that I am that. And how is this I am that? Without a thought. Whether there is a thought or no thought, it does not matter. I do not forget myself as I am. For that, yes, you have to do the meditation every day. But if it is not translating into our daily life, then there is some error taking place in our approach. Either we are sleeping or we are not. It has become mechanical, it has become Jada Samadhi for us. So as we come, the more we are meditating, directly proportional to that, we will be undisturbed by this world. It goes without saying. You don't have to practice it also. But yes, in the initial stages when you are not completely established, many times the thoughts will hijack, but that time, again come back. Between two thoughts in your mind, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is a lower way of understanding. Between two thoughts, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Because there is silence and you are there. How long does it last? Only minuscule second. Then when you sit on the seat of meditation, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi for a 5, 10, 15, half an hour, whatever period your mind is silent, that is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Third level, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, whether the mind is silent or active, you never forget who you are. You are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is also called Sahaja Samadhi. So if this abidance is not building up, so what is the conclusion of everything? Dukkha nivritti nirankusha trupti. That means there are no miseries. You are free from all miseries. Why? You don't take it to be real. One way of looking at it. Or you see everything as the expression of the self. So let it be, whatever is going on, it's going on. I can't stop it. That's phenomena. Third way, you are not available to the dukkha. Wherever there is duality, there will be misery. You are not available to it because you are one with the all-encompassing principle that the Atman is. It is of the nature of Nirankusha Tripti. All your desires are satisfied there. Now don't think all my desires are satisfied. Oh, I got such a long list. So when I come to be one with the Atman, all this list will be automatically satisfied. Yes and no. The desire to satisfy the list itself will not be there, which is equal to all desires satisfied. Because the world is not there for you anymore. Only you are. So these are the different stages which we must be clear. And as we have, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is also explaining, and I have also in last 15-20 minutes what I have said, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, contemplate on that. And it must translate in our daily life. The triad of knower-known knowledge will disappear, but the manifestation of life will continue to be. See how beautifully Swamiji is master in articulation. Life will continue. Life will continue. However, what happens? Swamiji, can you repeat what you just said? I didn't catch it. I didn't understand it. If I look at the bottle, immediately the thought bottle comes in the mind. If I look at the laptop, immediately the thought of laptop comes in my mind. If I look at you, immediately the thought of Usha comes into the mind, or Ravi comes, or both comes, or Surendran comes. Anything goes and stands in front of a mirror. Will there be a reflection? I'm asking a question. Anything that goes in front of the mirror, will there be a reflection? Yes.
Yes, Swamiji. Yes.
Is there a owner of reflection? Is there a knower of reflection? Can the mirror come to know the reflection? Does mirror have a personality?
No.
This is the way the Mahatma functions. So what is life? Life is the world will reflect in the mirror. That is life. The mind is there. As long as this body is there, mind is there. Where there is mind, there alone life expresses. Pure consciousness has got nothing to do with the expression of life. Life is a part of the phenomena. Phenomena is the mind. If this mind is like a mirror, life will continue. Reflection will happen, and whatever has to happen will continue happening. But there is no owner. There is no owner of the life. In yours and my case, what has happened? We have become the owner. I am a sannyasi, I am a seeker, we are studying Amrutanubhava. This is the time we have to start the lecture. And if now, what happened? Why I didn't understand? Why did he speak like that? Why did he not say that way? Etc. And it goes on and on and on, and there's no end to it. So what has happened? Instead of allowing the life to happen, we think we have taken control of life. Actually what has happened is we have got identified with the reflection and created a more mess than was required. What is that mess? Identification. Identification with relations, possessions, past, future, micro, macro. All this is identifications. And they are only valid for the seeker, who is an individual, who is a result of identification. This identity crisis has to be sorted out. But in a Mahatma, this crisis is not there. This identification is not there. Yet life is happening. You are sitting in your room listening to this satsang. Life is happening outside in the world. People are dying, people are hungry, people are abused, people are killed. People are giving motivational lectures. People are making money, people are sleeping, people are waking, people are dreaming. Does it affect you in any way? No. You are focused here. When you are focused like this, or you are with yourself all the time, then this world will not matter. And when you want, if the push, if the demand is great, if the calling is great, intuitively, you will get involved. But that involvement is not by you. It is the phenomena which is involving with whatever is. See? You must have seen in the stories of Shiva and Parvati, many times when Parvati is in trouble, to guide her out of her, because she did not listen to him, she finds herself, then Shiva goes down as an individual or as God to guide her so that she can come to again be one with him. Isn't it? Whether it was as the Daksha Putri, or it was as Mahalsa, or as various forms that she has taken. Every time she has gone away from him, he has gone and helped her to come back. So the satsang is also like that. The infinite is helping our mind to interact with this knowledge so that we can come back to ourselves. Or be ourselves. This is what is going on everywhere all the time. We have to develop that eye, that intuitive eye, what will happen as a seeker, what will happen? You will develop the eye that every person, every contact, every event, every thought, every breath, every interaction is a stimuli to prod you back to yourself. It should be that way. But is it? If it is happening, fantastic. If something in the world comes and we get lost in that event, then we have forgotten. Yesterday I went to someone's house for Satyanarayan Puja in the evening after class, and after many years they saw me. And all they could talk was what is happening with Australia, what is happening with India, the free trade agreement, and what opportunities will come, and what drawbacks will be there, and what is happening in the world. I didn't have to listen to any news. In the 15-20 minutes, half an hour I was there, I got a complete download. I am up to date with the world affairs right now. See? But while that was going on, I was smiling. Now they don't have any other topic to talk, so I also talked. But knowing completely, clearly, all this is unnecessary. It happened that way. You remain undisturbed. Who can? See, Guru Tegh Bahadur, who was one of the gurus of in the Sikh religion, Aurangzeb caught him. He was not a militant. Guru Gobind Singh, then when he was killed, Guru Gobind Singh took the sword and he said, we have to protect ourselves. So that Guru Tegh Bahadur, if I am correct with that name, the Aurangzeb caught him, he took his eyes out, he with pincers, with chimte ko kya bolte hain, with pliers, he pulled the skin off the body, the entire skin. Then he put salt on it. Then he started cutting from fingers, he started cutting all the parts of his body. Still he would not he would not convert to Islam. And then he cut him into half with a, with the ari. Who can go through all this? Can a weak mind go through this torture? Can a mere love for a nation invoke this capacity? Or this realization that I am not the body. Do whatever you want. You are not doing it to me. You are doing it to the body. Story over. But for us, if our morning coffee is not there, all hell breaks loose. See? I'm just giving you this example to show the mindset that great master, Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, he must have been disidentified from the body. He must be in the Nirvikalpa, because Nirvikalpa means no options to the mind. So the option of pain was not available. He was not identifying only. Not only pain, no pain also he was not identifying. So no options. Because if you give, I'm not afraid of pain, but you are afraid of no pain, or you are desiring of no pain, so that also becomes a problem. So you have to be disenchanted, disconnected, beyond the dual. And that's what this whole chapter is. You have to be beyond Sat and Asat. You have to be beyond Chit and Achit. You have to be beyond joy and sorrow. Then Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He must be there. Shivaji's children were put alive into the wall and alive. They did not complain even once. They did not scream. They did not, why me? And you see such feats. For some people, under certain circumstances, they get into that zone. I am not the body. Sometimes it happens in an accident. Sometimes it happens when the disease is too severe. Or it happens when a terminal illness is there and the news comes immediately. They don't care. But it's temporary. Here we are talking about consciously building this capacity where we remain undisturbed by the options and be in the nirvikalpa state 24/7. So whether we are in meditation, we are in nirvikalpa samadhi. Whether we are in the world, we are in nirvikalpa samadhi. The triad of knower known knowledge will disappear. Triad of knower known knowledge only happens where there is duality. If there is subject and object, there alone the triad will appear. But the subject has realized he is the infinite one. Now the triad is not possible. And if it does even appear, because we see Mahatma speaking, even if it does appear, that fellow who is other than the triad, he remains as he is. He doesn't get pulled down. He allows the phenomena of the thoughts to come and go. But he doesn't become, he doesn't, what do you call, he allows, how should I say, he allows the activity to take place, but he does not become the activator. He allows the activity to take place, but he doesn't become the activator. Activator means he has taken a position, he has taken a role. The magnet allows the iron filings to move, but it doesn't go and say, no, please come to me. Now please change your position, please change your direction, please become magnetized. Mother magnet doesn't say that. In their presence, activity happens or activity doesn't happen. So, in Jnaneshwar Maharaj, in Nivrittinath, in Sopan Dev, in Muktabai, and many other Mahatmas, the subject has come to abide in the absolute reality. It has come to know its true identity. Once the true identity is known, the phenomena of the mind will continue. Let it continue. So that phenomena of mind, when Krishna says, Maya Sakta Mana Partha, make your mind attached to me. It's not an ego statement. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Janapar. All those who exclusively think of me, I take care of all their needs and desires. It's not an egoistic statement. But for a common man who does not understand what we are talking here, either it will be too many words or it will be, he's just talking out of his hat. I think he's got a very big ego. That will be their statement. But the one who, and this is how every master was misunderstood. Shirdi Sai Baba was misunderstood. He had more enemies than followers when he was alive. Now today you find so many followers. But when he was there, more enemies. Satya Sai Baba, so many enemies. Even people came to kill him. He forgave. Ammachi, enemies, her own brother wanted to get her killed. By misunderstood. Why she is initiating, what is she doing in the room meditating with boys? Those who are disciples, 2 or 3 of the senior monks in Ammachi ashram. When they were young, she used to guide them. And the brother used to think, who is she to do all this? And one day wanted to kill her. Within 1 year, he was dead. Not that she wanted him dead. As you sow, so you reap. She is a mirror. If you don't have the capacity to deal, if your anger has expressed and there is no one to accept it, what will happen to the anger? It will reflect in the mirror and it will go back to you. If you make a ugly face in front of the mirror, there is no one there to accept it. It reflects and you look, this is how I am looking. You don't say someone else is looking. So he succumbed, her brother succumbed to his own anger and bad intentions. Within 1 year he was gone. So no heinous crime even imagined or committed against any Mahatma, because there is no one to accept your ridicule, your assessment, or your anger or your jealousy. It all goes back to the person who is expressing it, including misunderstandings. There is no one to accept. If it has come from you towards the Mahatma, it will come back to you. Then you deal with yourself. They got nothing to do with it. See. So we are talking about the triad, the knower, known, knowing. All these are, they will disappear, but the manifestation of why life will continue to be, life will continue. Mirror will continue to reflect whatever is in front of it. That will not stop. But there is no knower born. There is no known born, because mirror does not know if there is something coming in front of it. His nature is reflection. So in other words, what it is? Mirror accepts everything, rejects nothing, retains nothing. We are talking about the mirror. We are not talking about the Atma. We are talking about the phenomena, the phenomenal mind. So, this is the best you can make the mind into. Bring it to that point. Bring it to that height of purity where it starts behaving in this manner. हो गया time. 9:57. All the arguments thus far are now tied up into the concluding thought in the last section. Oh, perfect timing. Last section we'll see in our next class. How many more verses? जो भी है, how does it matter? We are doing one verse at a time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om everyone.